Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 7 of my 12 Weeks of Christmas series. I have an amazing project to share with you today. This is one that's been in my mind from the very first time I saw these Gingerbread Man Dies. So I'm so excited to show this to you. I've showed it to a few other people. I've showed it to my customers who attended my November class. I actually got the first sneak peek of this. So I'm so excited. So let's just jump into it. When I saw the Gingerbread Man Dies and when I actually received them and saw how big they were, I was like, yes, I am going to make some great home decor with this. So this is actually, and I know that my camera is just not going to get all of it in. I am going to try to move this up just a little bit. You're going to see some of my messy outside of my desk, but you can see, so I'll just kind of rotate it, but you can see how adorable and fun this is. Now, I actually started this as an idea to make a garland, to make a really long garland that I would hang across my fireplace. It came out adorable. It was completely adorable, but the little gingerbread men kind of would like spin. They wouldn't like sit flat. So they needed a little bit more stability. And so while I was thinking about how to add stability, I could cut like tons of cardstock and add it to them so they were nice and thick and heavy, and so they would stay in the right orientation. I went to Target with my daughter and we were walking through the Christmas section and they had a gingerbread wreath. And I was like, hello, that is so adorable. I already have all these gingerbread guys cut. Let's make a wreath. So I went home and I immediately took apart my garland and turned it into a wreath. And I am so excited that I did because the wreath is adorable. It is so cute. I love it. Now, all of these little guys, they are all, I don't know if it's going to pick up on camera. Everything is cut out of felt. I'm going to turn this over so you can see the back of it. They are all backed with some cardstock. Everyone has a little cardstock backer just to give them a little bit of stability, like I said, because the felt is a little bit flimsy. So they all have a either a pecan pie or a crumb cake backer to back them. But all of their little pieces, they are cut from felt, and all of their little accessory and pieces are cut from felt. So I am only going to, because it takes a while to do all of this, the hardest part of this is all the die cutting. It took me about an hour to die cut everything. Now your machine will, the dies will cut through felt. If your felt is a little bit thicker, you may need to add a shim. And so what I mean by that is when you are die cutting, let me grab my plates. I'm just going to show you with my plates. But when you are die cutting, you want to put your felt down, put your die on top of it, and then put your plate on top of it. And then I used a shim of just, let me see if I can find it. Here it is. I used a shim of just, this is just printer paper. This is just old printer paper that I had. It's just folded in half. It's just one piece of printer paper folded in half. I put that on top of my plate and then I ran it through. And this little tiny, you wouldn't think that this does much, but this little tiny thickness of just the printer paper folded in half provides enough thickness, enough pressure that my dies cut cleanly. Now, if you have a little bit of problem cutting through your dies, you can also try to do your dies upside down. So you put your die with the cutting side up, and then your felt, then your plate, then your shim on top of that. And sometimes, I don't know what the science is, but sometimes the dies that are upside down cut better too. So that's another thing to try, but I had no trouble cutting with the felt. Now, all of these pieces, the mugs, the candies, the bows, the hats, the scarves, the little icing, all of them come from the Gingerbread Man Dies. So they are all pieces that are in here. There's a little candy, the mug, the little, swirly part for the candy. Now you can do this however you want. I had mine each hold a little mint and a little mug. And then I alternated the colors. So some have green mints, some have red mints, green mugs, red mugs, etc. Their hats are all the same as well, just, alternating. And then I gave them all little different faces. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to talk about the felt that I use. I just got mine from, my local craft store. You can go into a craft store and they just sell sheets of felt. That was a really hard sentence to say. So they just sell sheets of felt. Like, this one was only 25 cents. So for all my gingerbread kiddos, I got 2 colors of brown. I got a dark brown and a light brown. And then for all the accessories, There was, I just found a green. For my red ones, I found like this glittery one that I loved. They didn't have like a red regular felt in this color. This one is a lot thicker, and it's a lot like, it's sturdier than like your regular ones. So this one took a little bit of extra love when die cutting, but they die cut beautifully. For my little white pieces, I have just a white piece of felt, and then I have a white glitter piece, which is the same as that red one. And I use this one for the icing and the faces because because they're so tiny, they just needed a little bit of extra stability. So little icing pieces down here, and the little faces are with the glitter ones because they just needed that extra little oomph, like that extra stability. So that is all my felt. Those are just all extra pieces that I have left over. So let's talk about the base of my wreath. So, and I'm going to show you this in a minute. So I actually, I went to the craft store. I looked for wreath bases, and they had metal ones that may have worked, but they were a little bit big. They were a little bit bulky and clunky, and it really wasn't what I was looking for. I really wanted something super flat. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna make my own with some chipboard. And so that's what I did. So let me show you what I did with the chipboard. And oh goodness, where did I put it? Hold on. Oh, please. Where did I put my chipboard? Oh, brother. Did I misplace it? Okay. Well, here's what I did. I took a piece of chipboard. This is just like a piece of chipboard that comes with like the specialty DSPs. So it's a little bit over 12 by 12. I really had one ready to go. Oh, here it is. I found it. Hold on. I found it. So I had one ready to go. Here we go. So a piece of chipboard, and I just used a marker and I traced two plates. I traced a bigger plate, and then I traced a smaller plate. And then I just took my scissors and I just cut it out. It's fine. You can cut chipboard easily. It's fine. So the bigger plate for the outside, the smaller plate for the inside. Now for the smaller one, I did use, to get that center out of it, I did use my my X-Acto knife, my crafter's tool, for my crafter's accessories that hooks onto your take your pick tool. And I cut just a little bit, like a little square out of it, just so I could get my scissors in. And once you get your scissors in, you can just cut out the inside. So if you have a craft store that has wreaths that you really like, you can actually skip this step. But this is a great way to repurpose all that chipboard that comes in your DSP, and it was super easy to just cut out, and it's exactly what I wanted, and it's nice and sturdy. Okay, now I obviously didn't want it to be the chipboard color. I wanted there to be a little, because you are going to see a little bit of it through the front. You can see pieces of it poking through. So I ended up wrapping it in ribbon, and the ribbon that I used to wrap this one, I used, this is our fluffy trim. This is from our North Pole Delivery suite. It feels like it's like towel texture, I think. I really like it. But I used almost a whole roll. I mean, you can see, like, I'm already down to like the cardboard edge of this. I used almost a whole roll covering this. So if you are going to use Stampin' Up! Ribbon, just, be aware you're probably going to use quite a bit of it. Now, because of that, I decided that for the one that we're going to make today, I was going to just get some ribbon from a hobby store because it's a little bit cheaper. And I honestly didn't have another roll of this white one, and I wasn't going to get it in time even if I ordered it. So a couple of reasons why I went with a hobby store roll. But if you want to use the Stampin' Up! One, you absolutely can. So I found this beautiful, it's like crumb cake colored velvet ribbon. It is adorable. I just got it at my local hobby store. It was 50% off in the fall section, and I loved it. It's nice. It's so soft. It's nice. And so I've already wrapped most of it because this does take a little bit of time. This wreath is not something you're going to do in like 20 minutes, guys. This is going to be either a multi-day process or all afternoon process, however you think of it. But so after I have my die cut piece or my trimmed out piece, and you can see it's not perfect. There's like ragged edges. It's okay. We're covering it up. It's okay. It does not have to be perfect. I actually ran tear and tape all around the wreath. I put tear and tape, like strip all the way around the front. and the back so that it is sticky on both sides. So as we wrap this, so I'm just going to keep wrapping this. And again, this part doesn't have to be perfect because most of this is going to be covered up by gingerbread guys. Okay, so as we just keep wrapping this, it's just going to adhere to that tearing tape. And we're going to use a glue gun to hold everything down. So let me just finish wrapping this quickly. Well, as quickly as I can. And I do have a side where I start and stop, and I'm actually going to make that the front, and we're just going to try to cover all those pieces up with gingerbread guys. And so I'm going to make sure, and so that's actually this side where I have some little ends where I've started and stopped. So I'm going to make sure that I try to start and stop on the other side. So we may have to go a couple more for this one. I think we're going to be there. Okay. So once we get to the end, you're going to grab your glue gun, just tack it down. Again, this part's all going to be covered up. It's going to be fine. I'm just going to hold that for a second. We're just going to trim this piece off. Okay, so we have our wreath base covered. So step one, right? And look how pretty and it is. So it's like velvety. It's so soft. So this is my nice side. So this is the side that I'm going to have be the back. And then this is going to be the front. And we're going to just cover up any little edges that there are. All right, we're going to set this aside. We're going to come back to it, but let's talk about our gingerbread guys. Okay. So let me put my wreath aside. All right. Now to make this wreath, you're going to need 4 gingerbread guys. So I have 4 of like this darker brown, and these guys have red hats, green bows, red scarves, green mugs, a green mint, and then their faces and the icing is the same on all of them. Okay, so you need 4 of the darker one. I'm going to put all these guys aside. And then you're going to need 4 of the lighter one. Let me stack them there. So I have 3 already done. We are going to assemble a whole gingerbread man together so you guys see how I did it. They're all adhered exactly the same way. So we're only going to do 1, but if you're making this, you're going to need to do 8. Now you may need to cut a few and just kind of measure how many you need, if your wreath is bigger or smaller, or if you do want to make a garland. I mean, a garland would be cute. You just kind of attach them all together to a piece of ribbon on the back so that you can hang it. That would be cute as well. But we're going to do a wreath, and for this wreath, we're going to need 8 of them, 4 of each. Okay, so let's pull in all of my pieces. Now, like I said, I've die cut all of my pieces, and I'm going to kind of set them together so that we kind of know what we have. We're going to lay them out. So we're doing another light one. And this one, I'm going to bring this down so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better, because this is more close-up work now, right? Okay. So red bow, and this is like that red glitter felt, green hat and scarf, red mug, white candy base, and then the little red swirl on this one. Now for the darker one, I'll throw one of the darker ones in here just so you can see everything is opposite. So red hat and scarf, green bow, green mug, green candy instead of the red. Okay, so I just did it all opposite to just make it more, visually pleasing, but you can do it however you want. I mean, if you want to make like a pastel gingerbread guy, find like pinks and purples, that'd be so cute. All right, so the little face, like I said, was cut from the more sturdier white one, and then you'll need 1 of the little icing pieces, and we'll cut this in half, and that will be for each leg. So like I said, we have out of felt, we have 1 gingerbread guy, and then I have a piece of crumb cake that we're going to put on the back of them. Okay, so let's put the cardboard or the cardstock piece aside. We're going to come back to that one. We're going to assemble just the felt pieces for now. Okay, so I'm going to put him aside. I'm going to put our little icing piece aside. I'm going to bring in my my silicone craft sheet because I'm using a glue gun. A glue gun won't stick to the silicone craft sheet. If any little pieces are, stuck on here at the end, you can just pull them up and throw them away. It cleans off beautifully. So if you don't have our silicone craft sheet, make sure you grab one. They're fantastic. I absolutely love it. You are going to need your glue gun, whatever glue gun you normally use that. I also have some reverse tweezers, and you'll see these for the teeny tiny pieces at the end. All right, we're going to start with our bow. And I'm actually going to use my tweezers now. I'm going to stick this little tiny square piece. This is like the little, knot part of the bow right here. I'm actually going to get that ready on my tweezers so we can get this going. The bow needs a second to dry, so we're going to adhere this. So a little dot of glue on the, the tails of the bow. We'll stick the top of the bow on, and then another little dot of glue for the little knot. We'll just drop that in. My tweezers are very sticky. I made all of these today. And then, if you have any glue hanging off, just let it dry, and then we can either trim it off or cut it off later. Now, you guys, I'm a messy glue gun user, so this is going to get messy, guys. You guys are going to have to just forgive me because I'm a paper crafter. I'm not a textile worker. This is not like my genre of strengths here. So you'll have to forgive me. My glue gun skills are not probably what they should be. But now I wanted to mention too, if you don't want to use a glue gun, if you love to sew, if you're a seamstress, you can sew all these pieces on too. That's definitely going to take longer, unless you're like super fast at sewing. But it might be a little bit more sturdy in the long run if you're going to save this wreath for, years and years. The sewing might be the better way to go. I do plan on packing my wreath this year, and I'll have 2 of them, so maybe I'll gift one away to somebody. But I do plan on packing it so that I can use it year after year. It's been hanging on my pantry door in my kitchen, and I think that it's perfect for that. It's the perfect size, so I will pack it away to use for future years. All right, for the bow, I'm going to stick it on the left side. So I just put a little dot of my glue there, and we're going to stick the finished bow onto the hat, and we're going to let that dry too while we move on to our little gingerbread guy. Okay, I'm going to start with his little icing pieces. So I'm just going to kind of fold this in half, just kind of gently eyeball it and just cut it in half. You can cut a bunch of these. If you don't want to cut them in half, you can actually just cut a bunch of these, adhere them on, and just trim them later. That's fine too. But the less times I have to run things through the cut machine, then that's me. So I'm just getting multi pieces out of this. All right, so I'm just going to kind of drag my glue gun across that icing piece so that it has enough just to hold it down, and I'm just going to stick it down. And we'll do the same on this one. Now, you could do the same thing with cardstock. You could definitely cut all these pieces out of cardstock. Do it with cardstock. I like the look of felt, especially for like holiday decorating. I really like the look of felt. But you could definitely do this with cardstock. Now, if you're doing it with cardstock, all of these little pieces like the icing, the eyes, the little candy thing here, I would definitely put adhesive sheets on the back of those because that will for sure help you in the long run. You can just peel and stick with cardstock. I'm not sure that the felt would cut with adhesive sheets on the back, and I'm not sure that they would stick to the felt in the end. So we're just going to use a glue gun. It works. All right, so the scarf, I just put a little bit of glue on the back of the scarf. The hat, we're just going to do a little bit of glue right here on the bottom of the rim, and we're going to stick that onto the top of his head. All right, I'm going to bring him down a little bit just so I can see his face. All right, now I'm going to take one piece at a time. This is one of his eyes. Now, all the faces are different. There's 4 different faces in the die set. So you can do one face for all of them. I die cut all 4 faces. So I have 4 different faces to work with. Now, some of them are easier to adhere than other ones. So the one that I'm using today is probably the easiest one to adhere because it's nice big pieces. But there's like a winky face one, the ones with the super skinny smile, which I'll bring out in just a sec. I'll show you guys the different faces. That one is super hard to adhere. So tiny little skinny smiles. All right, there we go. So I'm just putting a dot of glue onto the gingerbread man itself and not onto these super teeny tiny pieces. These are super tiny. So I found it's just easier just to put a little dot of glue onto the gingerbread guy where you want stuff, and then just use your tweezers and drop it into place and set it down. Okay, so there he is. Isn't he cute? So you're gonna do this 8 times. Once you have your 8 gingerbread guys, now I know I haven't done these, but we're gonna actually adhere it to our cardstock piece first. Let me get this like glue hangy piece out of the way. Okay. Now, let's talk about the cardstock piece. Now, you guys, I'm sure have noticed these. When you die cut pieces, there's like a rounded edge. Now, I want that edge on the outside. So we're going to put our adhesive on the back of the die cut. Now, the little gingerbread guy, it's meant to fold in half like a card when you die cut this big piece wherever my dies went. So you will have like a straight edge on one of the hands, but we're going to cover those up. So don't worry about those because that's why we have the candy and the mug. Okay. So I'm going to start to make sure that I line up everything exactly. I'm going to put a bunch of glue just on the back of his head and his arms. And then we can just line this up. I'm going to start with his arm, line up his head, and just make sure everything is nice and lined up. Once that's all lined up, we just lift up his legs and then go in and do the rest of his legs. Oh, I'm running out of glue. Hold on. Gotta stick another glue stick in there. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. And then his legs, you can just lay right down. Okay. Now for mine, I did them all the same. I did candy on the right. So just a dot of glue on his hand there. This is going to cover up any little line there. You'll never know that he wasn't a full-handed gingerbread guy. And the mug on the left. All of them are the same. Okay, let's set him up. He's going to dry completely. He's still a little bit warm to the touch, so I'm just going to let him dry. I'm going to go through all my gingerbread guys and just show you all my faces so you can see. Now, like I said, this one was the easiest. This one is probably the second easiest because he's just, he's just like, woo. This one is okay. I like the eyes on this one, but that super teeny tiny smile, guys, can you see? Like, it's tough. This one also has that super teeny tiny smile, but it also has the little winky eye. So these are the 4 faces. So I went with all of them for mine. If you just want to make it easy on yourself and go with like the easy ones, by all means do that. All right, so we have all 8 of our gingerbread guys. We have our dark ones and our light ones. So let's go back to our wreath base. And we're going to choose what's going to be the top. And where my ribbon ended right here, I'm going to make that the top. And I have a piece of our, what is this called? This is our black and white and gold baker's twine. I'm just going to use a piece of the white and gold one. And this is only like 6 inches maybe. If you want a bigger one, you can absolutely do a bigger loop. But I'm just doing a small little loop here. And I'm just folding it in half just so my little ends are together. And I'm going to do a blob of glue right there. And I'm going to just put this into my glue. Okay. Now we're going to put a gingerbread guy right on top of that. So that little blob, it's going to be covered and the twine will actually be sandwiched between the wreath and a gingerbread guy. Okay, I'm going to start with my darker ones. We're going to do these first, and we're going to put him on first. Actually, I'm going to choose one because he's going to be at the very top. So I'm going to go with my best face, and actually, it's this guy. So, glue just on the back of his arms, just like this, just on the cardstock pieces. You don't have to worry about like the candy or the mug. And we're going to just make sure that his arms span across the wreath, just like that. Okay, so we're going to think of this as a clock. So he's at 12 o'clock. I'm going to slide this up. Let me pull my camera up just a little bit more so you guys can see a little bit more. So 12 o'clock, we're going to come down here to 6 o'clock. I'm going to just grab another one and glue just on the back of the arms. And I'm going to do the same thing as 6 o'clock with the arms just spanning that wreath. So I'll flip this over so you guys can see, like, not the only part that we're gluing is those arms. Okay, so we have 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Let's go 3 o'clock. Okay, just along the arms. Once you get all your gingerbread guys together and your wreath covered, this project goes so fast. This is a great little opportunity to get kids involved. Now, obviously, you want to make sure that they're old enough to use a glue gun. Like, I wouldn't give a glue gun to a 2-year-old. But like my daughter, who is 15, I think her and her friends would do this. I think it's such a cute little Christmas project. If you're looking for something to do, maybe Christmas break starts early. Maybe you need something to do over Thanksgiving break. This would be a great little project. So 3 and 9 o'clock. All right, now our other 4, we'll just fill in the gaps, just like this. Okay, so we're just going to work our way around and fill in the gaps. Now, this is where you can like, if you want to weave them in, you can have some of the candies be on top, some of the mugs be on top, whatever you want to do. I'm not even going to think about that. And I'm just going to go through and throw my little guys right on here. Just like that. You're going to see the mugs and candies on all of them, so it's okay. I'm just going to turn this. We'll do the next one. So once you get your guys at 12, 3, 6, and 9, it's easy to just come in and fill out the rest of these. Oh, sorry guys. I know that was probably loud on my camera. All right, keep rotating. All right, I'm gonna grab another glue stick because I'm gonna need to throw that in halfway through this. Oh, maybe I can get this one. Perfect. And put that on. I absolutely love this wreath. So fun. Now, if you have a different fabric glue that you like, I know there's lots of different fabric glues. I use glue guns. I'm not gonna, like I said, textiles are not my thing, so I'm not going to use time to research good fabric glues. But if you do a lot of stuff with felt, or you know of a good fabric glue that is better than a glue gun, by all means, use that glue, please, whatever is easier for you. All right. So, I mean, honestly, that's it. That's our little guy. So we have a little hanger up here. It's going to be nice and secure. His chest is still warm, so I know that that's not completely dry yet, or set. But once it is, it's going to hang beautifully. I'm going to pull this up just a little bit more so we can try to get as much of it in as possible. But what do you guys think? Isn't it cute? Now you could do this as a, like I said, you can make a garland out of this. You can make a bigger wreath if you wanted. You could even cut them out of little felt and just make little like nameplates, just have them hold a piece of cardstock with names on them. Obviously not in a wreath, but I mean, they're just so cute cut in felt. So just give it a try. I hope you guys do give it a try. I'm going to bring in my other one. So I have 2 of these absolutely adorable little wreaths. So cute. So actually let's just leave one in. It's too hard to have 2 of them in. You could also really mix and match. You could have some of them holding candy canes or some of the other accessories from the dies. There's little speech bubbles, so you can really make it your own. Those gumdrops, I didn't do anything with the gumdrops or the candy canes or the lollipop. So really, there's so many different options on what you could do with your little gingerbread guys. So I hope you guys loved it. I hope you guys love this fun home decor idea. Next week, we start on boxes for Christmas. Yes, I can't wait. So make sure that you check back for week 8 next week. And I hope you guys love week 7. Leave me a comment. If you loved it, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. If you did like it, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you never miss a video. Again, I'll be back with week 8 next week. And yeah, I hope you guys love this as much as I do. I absolutely love it. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you later. Bye.